Good morning, dears, and welcome to another session on linguistics and structure of the English language. So, in the last class, we learned about traditional approach and the fallacies of traditional grammar. And we know that traditional grammar was prescriptive and normative by nature. It was also deductive. And we know what is deductive grammar and what is inductive grammar. Deduction is a form of reasoning in which we start with the general truth and draw conclusions from it. For example, we know the general truth that all birds have two legs, and from which we deduce a particular truth that a parrot has two legs. In induction, we start from particular cases and then we derive a general truth about them. For example, at some point in history, someone must have realized that every dog seen possessed four legs. And from this observation of many particular instances, one might have drawn the general conclusion that all dogs are quadrupeds. So, this is the difference between deduction and induction. And grammar may be either inductive or deductive. And in the context of teaching, if a grammatical concept or a rule is presented, explained with reference to its form and function, and then examples and exercises are brought in, then that approach is a deductive approach. And traditional grammar of English was mainly deductive. On the other hand, if different kinds of usages are examined and then the rule is arrived at, that particular approach is inductive. So, so the traditional approach and the fallacies I hope are quite clear. Now we move to the structural approach. And the term structuralism is generally traced to the 19th century Swiss linguist Ferdinand de Saussure. He is generally considered as a father of structuralist school of linguistics. And one of his major contributions has been the recognition of unique identity of each language. Each language, Saussure declared, has its own system, and therefore a language can be defined as a system of systems. And structure here refers to the way in which the individual elements of language are related to each other. The structure of one language differs from those of other languages. And Saussure held the view that each language should be described with reference to its own system. And the term structuralist in general refers to the descriptive linguists of USA between 1930 and 1960. We know how the traditional grammarians they modeled English grammar upon Latin and Greek. They try to bring in the grammar of Latin and Greek into English. So, according to Saussure, such a thing is not actually possible because each language is unique, each language has got its own system. And the structure of one language is entirely different from the other language. So, bringing in the different grammatical ideas of one language to the other is not actually possible. And another important figure after Saussure was the anthropologist Franz Boas. He and his followers they worked on the strange and exotic North American languages, and they came across languages which were radically different from Latin. And they were languages which had no singular plural distinction without any clear cut past present bifurcation. And this led to the important conclusion that languages are not similar. And this very idea is fundamental to the structural approach. It actually came from anthropology. And linguistics, or the study of languages, was a part of anthropology during the 19th century. So Bose, he had two noteworthy followers, Edward Sapir and Leonard Bloomfield. Both of them became influential figures in American linguistics. It was in fact Bloomfield's major works, An Introduction to the Study of Language, which was published in 1940, and Language, which was published in 1933, which became basic text in American structuralism. And these books they assured in a new descriptive inductive structural approach which was different from the deductive normative approach of traditional grammar. Now let's see some of the differences between the traditional and the structural approach. Number one, the traditional grammar the framework of one language to describe another. We know how they modeled English grammar upon Latin and Greek. where the structuralists they held the view that each language has its own unique structure and that it must be described with reference to its own system. Number two, traditional grammar was prescriptive, whereas structural grammar was descriptive. Number three, the traditionalists based their descriptions only on the written form, they completely ignored the spoken form. Whereas the structuralists, they began their description from the spoken form. Number four, traditional grammar mixed up diachronic and synchronic approaches, whereas the structuralist description was purely synchronic by nature. Number five, traditional grammar ignored language variations. The structuralists were concerned with the language variations like dialects and registers. And the last one, traditional definitions were meaning based, whereas structuralists they completely banned meaning from the scope of analysis. So these are some of the major differences between traditional and the structural approach. Now, the structuralists they based their analysis of language on the actual utterances of the native speaker, and the structuralists they identified three levels of structure. Number one is phonology. We know phonology, the system of speech sounds as they used by native speakers of the language concerned. Number two, morphology, the meaningful forms in which speech sounds are combined. That is a study of words and word classes. And number three is syntax or the word order. That is the study of the arrangement of words to form sentences. So it was a structuralist who identified these three levels of structure: phonology, morphology, and syntax. And so they base their analysis of language on the actual utterances of the native speaker. Now, the most important, the most important method used by the structuralists was the IC analysis or the immediate constituent analysis to identify and label sentence structures. So, IC analysis is grouping together words and phrases in sentences. And this analysis was first outlined in Leonard Bloomfield's work Language. And this is considered as a procedure in discovering the units of a sentence. So, it is also known as discovery procedure. So, remember, the structuralists they for the analysis they take the actual utterance of the native speaker, and the most important method used by them was the IC analysis, which is a discovery procedure. And thus, with the use of the actual utterance and this IC analysis, they have tried to analyze the grammar of language. Okay, now uh, to give you an idea about what is IC analysis, IC analysis is a linguistic syntactic tool which enables one to detect a language. It is a corpus based method, corpus based in the sense a study that is based on the available data, and also an empirical study. Empirical study, we know it is based on observation, analysis, and then we derive at the conclusion. So it is a corpus based method, it is an empirical study. And this is essentially a binary segmentation of a construction. I'll explain this binary segmentation of construction. For example, look at this sentence: the boy jumped. And if we look at this particular sentence, it has only three words: the boy jumped. There is, in this particular utterance, there is a closer relationship between the and boy rather than boy and jumped. മൂന്ന് സെൻറ്റൻസേ ഉള്ളൂ, the boy jumped. ഇതിൽ നമ്മൾ നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ there is a close relationship between the two words the and boy rather than boy and jumped. Hope it's clear. So if one is to divide this particular construction or this particular sentence or utterance into two parts, it would be certainly the boy and jumped. അപ്പം ഈ ഒരു സെൻറ്റൻസ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഈ ഒരു കൺസ്ട്രക്ഷൻ ഒരാൾ ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ അത് എപ്പോഴും ദ ബോയ് എന്നതൊരു ഒരു പാർട്ട് ആൻഡ് ജംപ് ദി അതർ പാർട്ട് അങ്ങനെയായിരിക്കും. അല്ലാതെ ദ ആസ് വൺ പാർട്ട് ബോയ് ജംപ് ദി അതർ പാർട്ട് അങ്ങനെ നമ്മളത് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്യാറില്ല. And one way again, if proceed to divide the sentence further, we arrive at the following. The boy is divided into the and boy. Then the other part, the second part, jumped, is divided into jump and the past part, that is ed. All right. So at the beginning of this boy jumped, I refer to this particular sentence as a construction and as an utterance. So these words are also important. So the boy jumped is the construction which consists of certain constituents. What are the constituents? The constituents are the boy and jumped. Okay, so we need to know these two terms, construction and a constituent. A construction is a group of morphemes or constituents with meaning. A constituent is a morpheme or a group of morphemes which enter into a still larger construction. So construction എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു സെൻറ്റൻസ് ആണ്. അതിൽ പല പല കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂവൻസ് ഉണ്ടാകാം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പല പല മോർഫീംസ് ഉണ്ടാകാം. കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂവൻ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു മോർഫീം ആകാം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഓഫ് മോർഫീം ആകാം. അതൊരു ലാർജർ കൺസ്ട്രക്ഷൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായിട്ട് മാറുന്നു. ആൻഡ് വാട്ട് വി ഡു ഹിയർ ഇസ് ബൈനറി സെഗ്മെൻറ്റേഷൻ ഓഫ് ദീസ് കൺസ്ട്രക്ഷൻ. നമ്മൾ ഓരോന്നിനെയും രണ്ടായിട്ടാണ് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഈച്ച് കൺസ്ട്രക്ഷൻ ഇസ് ഡിവൈഡഡ് ഇൻ ടു two. So this is the binary segmentation of a construction that we do here in IC analysis. That results in two group of constituents, and these constituents which are immediately connected are called immediate constituents. For example, let's go back to the sentence, the boy jumped. We have these two constituents that are joined by two lines in a diagram, and these constituents are set to form a construction. The boy jumped consists of the three constituents. The boy jumped, and the construction the boy jumped consists of the constituents the boy and jumped. The construction the boy consists of the constituents the and boy. All right. The boy എടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ the boy എന്ന് പറയുന്നതിൽ രണ്ട് കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂവൻസ് ഉണ്ട്, the and boy. All right. So the boy and jumped are the immediate constituents of the construction the boy jumped. The and boy are the immediate constituents of the boy. Jump and the past form ed are the immediate constituents of jumped. And one can thus break up the sentence into smallest constituents. നമുക്ക് ഒരു സെൻറ്റൻസിനെ ബൈനറി ആയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ സെഗ്മെൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ആദ്യം കിട്ടുന്ന കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂവൻറ്റ്, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ദി ഇമ്മീഡിയറ്റ് കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂവൻറ്റ്. Hope it is clear. And this particular binary segmentation is followed until and unless we reach a stage where the constituent is not further divisible, and such constituents which form the bottom layer of the hierarchical division are known as ultimate constituents. നമുക്ക് ഓൾറെഡി ഇമ്മീഡിയറ്റ് ഉണ്ട്. ഇമ്മീഡിയറ്റ് ഞാൻ ഓൾറെഡി പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞു. Where this binary segmentation results in immediate constituents which are immediately connected. The boy jumped എടുക്കുമ്പോഴേക്കും the boy and jumped, അതിൽ the boyയും jumpedും ആണ് the boy jumped എന്ന് പറയുന്ന കൺസ്ട്രക്ഷൻ്റെ immediate constituents. And finally നമ്മൾ അതിൻ്റെ ലാസ്റ്റ് പാർട്ട് എത്തി, where the and boy are the immediate constituents of the boy, jump and ed are the immediate constituents of jumped. Okay, now ഇതിന് further division is not possible. ഇനി അതിലേക്ക് നമുക്ക് ഡിവിഷൻസ് കൊണ്ടുവരാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ആൻഡ് ദ ലാസ്റ്റ് ബോട്ടം ലൈൻ ഓഫ് ദറ്റ് ഹൈറാർക്കിക്കൽ ഡിവിഷൻ, അവിടെ വരുന്ന കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂവൻറ്റ് നമ്മൾ പറയുന്നത് അൾട്ടിമേറ്റ് കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂവൻസ്. ഐ ഹോപ്പ് ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ക്ലിയർ ടു യു. All right. So all constituents except the largest construction can be immediate constituents, and all the constituents except the ultimate can be a construction. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു നമ്മുടെ കൺസ്ട്രക്ഷൻ അല്ലാതെ വരുന്നതെല്ലാം തന്നെ മറ്റേതിൻ്റെയെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ ഇമ്മീഡിയറ്റ് കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യുവൻറ്റ് ആയിരിക്കും. So okay, hope that is clear to you. So a constituent, thus, is one of the parts of a construction, and a construction is a relationship between constituent. Construction എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ അതിനെ സെൻറ്റൻസ് ആയിട്ട് ഇക്വേറ്റ് ചെയ്താൽ മതി. നമ്മൾ നടത്തുന്ന ബൈനറി ഡിവിഷൻസ് ഓരോന്നും ഇമ്മീഡിയറ്റ് കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യുവൻസ് ആണ്. അതിൻ്റെ ലാസ്റ്റ് ബോട്ടം ലൈൻ ആണ് അൾട്ടിമേറ്റ് കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യുവൻറ്റ്. Hope it is clear to you. So IC analysis is a way of grouping the constituents at different levels. Clear ആണെന്ന് ഞാൻ വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നു. And the salient features of structural approaches, they believe that language is a form of human behavior, and their goal was to describe the actual utterance of the speaker. It was mainly descriptive and not prescriptive, and they made use of this discovery procedure. And through this discovery procedure, they finally arrived at the grammar of a language. Idana IC analysis. There is another sentence that I have given here. The IC analysis of that particular sentence is also given. Just have a look at that. Now, look at that example. A young girl with an umbrella chased the boy. And how this particular construction is divided into immediate constituents, and how we have arrived at the the bottom line, where we have all these ultimate constituents together. So this is what we generally do in IC analysis, one of the methods that is used by the structuralists. Okay, so with this I wish to wind up today's session. I will discuss more about IC analysis with more examples and the other limitations of IC analysis in the coming class. Thank you.